Yo, what is up everybody? It's the Great here and welcome back to another Naruto reaction video here today. And today we got a special video by the great Swagkage, and it was requested by y'all, so thank you for the request. It is Madara versus Kaguya. Now, I think it's safe to say this is a quite debated topic within the Naruto fandom. You know, both characters are looked up upon as some of the strongest shinobi or entities ever within the Naruto verse, with one side being Madara. Some people think, you know, Three-Eyed Madara is the strongest, you know, entity ever within the Naruto verse. And some think that Kaguya is, you know, and it's safe to say they're both unquantifiably strong. It's, you know, beyond measure how strong both of these opponents are. So it's going to be quite interesting to hear what Swag has to say. But before we begin, you know, any loves really appreciate it. Hit that like button, turn on bell notifications to video videos truly. And if you're new and you enjoy, and it's your first time seeing the kid, or you've been in off but you mess with me, hit that sub button, man, because once you do, you become part of the family forever. Let's not waste any more time. Screen. See what Swag has to say about this one.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
What up?
It's your boy, me. I have my good friend Seth, the programmer, here with me today.
All right.
Everybody.
Hello.
So you might notice I sound a little bit under the weather, and that is because I have the flu. Have had it for a couple days. Anyway, what's more important is the topic of this video, not just because.
All right, let's be honest, bro. Swagkage has been the Madara channel for like 2 years.
Yeah, man.
We gotta
leave me alone.
We gotta clear the air. All right.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Hey, man, Swag." Like it'll just be all my comments. Everybody will be like, "Nobody : blank." Swag. Well, Madara would win, but like, dude, I get it.
Every
Leave me
fucking
alone.
deal.
So yeah, let's just wipe the slate clean. Let's get this out there. Madara loses this fight real bad. Like, not even close. I made a video a really long time ago saying something otherwise, but today I'm going to explain why I was wrong and why Kaguya would just
Doo-doo on him.
rattle Madara around. Yeah, just doo-doo on him with the help of my friend Seth here. So why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, so to clear the air, because this is a common misconception people have. No, Madara would not seduce Kaguya in the battle. That's okay,
oh goodness.
We know Naruto can do it with the sexy jutsu.
Yeah, she was clearly she bottled some stuff up for a while because she'd been like sealed for 1,000 years or whatever.
Right. And Swag kind of came up with a little bit of theory, like maybe Kaguya's kind of more into interracial stuff, and like
oh my
that's
god,
why she like kind of got with a human, and she
see, like she was more into Naruto's like sexy jutsu clones. So like if it was like somebody who looked exactly like her,
maybe she wouldn't be into it. And also,
let's
just get it out of the way. It's out of character, man. Madara ain't going for that. So
yeah, nah, he's not.
Sexy business going. I don't want to hear this at all in the comments. Get it out. Real talk though. Real talk. What do you think about Madara versus Kaguya, just in terms of raw strength? We'll get in like techniques later, but like
stated by Naruto and Sasuke that Kaguya is like more than double Madara strength or something. Like, yeah, I think they like Naruto or Sasuke is like, yeah, Madara wasn't even.
Yeah, they stated explicitly that Kaguya's chakra is far greater.
She makes Madara look like a lot less than half her strength. But I mean, and just her feats and stuff too. Like, did you see that expansive truth-seeking orb? Madara didn't do that. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Crazy.
Cool and all, but she's gonna blow up a star.
Yeah, Kaguya made like her own like solar system, like dimension, like possible universe thing.
Multiple ones.
Yeah, and Madara clearly has nothing like that. Madara is just kind of learning how to use like the essence of Kaguya's ability, but that's been withering away over the years, and he's just getting like a fart sniff of it or something.
Yeah.
But Sasuke implies that like Kaguya is something he can't even imagine existed. Like, and Naruto freaks out. It's like to the point where they're not like, oh, I want to see how strong this guy gets or anything like that. In some Dragon Ball, they're like actually tried to stop Kaguya from like appearing at all. Like,
yeah, they're both terrified.
Yeah.
They're like, what do we do? How? Like with Madara,
they're in all of this.
They were all hype. He's
of
like,
this opponent, obviously, right?
He like claps his hands together, and Sasuke shows up. He's like, we are. There's none of that. There were no quips or anything. They had a completely different attitude when fighting her.
So did the other characters too. Sakura's like, she's a god. In terms of strength, we'll just finish the strength portion, then we'll go into the more kind of combat headcanon-y part. But Another like strength point is, you know, how Naruto scales to Madara. Now I've brought this up a few times, like, you know, Naruto's shadow clones are duking it out with Madara's limbo clones.
Correct.
You could say, you know, Madara's not using his full abilities. You might be able to say Naruto's not using his full abilities either. It's just like, when you look at Madara's limbo clones, you have to ask yourself, are they holding back? Like, are they holding it back against Naruto's shadow clones? Like, what? Why are
I'm on the fence about that. I don't see why they'd hold back, right?
Holding back? Don't they want Madara to do the infinite Tsukuyomi? Do they think it's beneath him or something? It's just some questions to ask. And then Naruto himself has numerous ways to amp himself beyond that.
Right.
So it's more like a debate, like, you know, Madara versus Naruto when it comes to strength, I feel like, rather than Kaguya. Yeah, Madara does have things he can pull out, so does Naruto. I'm not saying, you know, like, Madara loses to Naruto or something, but it is something to consider. So, like, for example, Kaguya is fighting, like, the dimension-filling Shadow Clone Ultimate Braz Jutsu or whatever.
Yeah, that throws, like, a fucking 2,000, like, tailed beast bomb Rasen shuriken at her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then, it's, like, these, like, Kaguya, if there's, like, a gif of it, like, Kaguya's just, like, spinning around, just casually slapping these clones away that were brawling.
All right, so I pause it, and I think I get what Seth, you know, what point he's trying to get across here. He's trying to say that the gap between Naruto and Madara is significantly smaller than the gap between Madara and Kaguya. I think that's the point he's trying to make. And I believe he's trying, you know, to make an implication here by showing what Kaguya, the ease that she had against Naruto at the beginning. You know, that she was just slapping away his most powerful techniques, to imply that Madara would have a similar showcase against Kaguya. Maybe have a little more success, because I think brute just power. I think Madara has more than Naruto. I think we can safely say that. But I think the gap between Kaguya and Madara is still vast. And I think that's the point that Seth is trying to make here. Let's continue. Good point, by the way, though.
Limbo or whatever. And then Naruto with Boil Release is able to, like, deck her in the schnoz. But apparently Boil Release is, like, comparable to, like, Gates Release in the data book or something. Like, it's like an insane...
Wow. Oh, yeah, I remember this. We were talking about this the other day. Yeah, it's like opening up the gates or something. Like,
wow.
It's like comparable to Lee's ability to use, like, taijutsu and Gates or something weird. Now, it's not saying he's as strong as Lee and Gates. It's saying, like, the increase or, like, the skill is similar.
It's like a
right.
So, and I think I'll just get this out of the way. When you're talking about just, like, a skill battle, first things first.
Before we move on from power to skill, I wanna get the elephant, because I know people are gonna still comment. Well, I don't know, man. Madara was holding back, but Kaguya wasn't really, like, using her full like, it took a while for her to, like, stabilize, right? Like, after she, like, broke out, like she just went crazy and she turned into that, like, big bubble of all the Biju with, like, a rabbit.
Oh yeah.
After that, she condensed and got stronger. Like, Zetsu even says so. And you also can't quantify how much Madara would have even been holding back anyway.
Right.
It's just, like, the best possible argument you can make for Madara, and it's still really flimsy, is that he was trying to draw out his fight with Naruto and Sasuke because it was going to be his last major fight before he just, like, you know, resigned to his office job of just floating in the sky, watching everybody in their cocoons forever.
The tree.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
like his last hurrah.
Like, oh man, I'm gonna be bored. Might as well enjoy myself. So, like, maybe he wasn't trying that hard. But
that's fair.
You know, again, he would have had to be holding back a lot to close that gap between, like, losing to, like, 5 clones and Kaguya no-diffing, like, 2,000 of them.
Correct.
Yeah. It's just a really weak argument. You have to go, like, you have to hinge your argument on Madara's skill being able to carry him.
Right.
And that's what Seth was about to bring up.
Yeah, and even in just one more thing on power is, like, think of all the times they had the advantage on Kaguya. One was sexy jutsu, but we debunked that. That's not
Madara's not using sexy jutsu. Come on.
Was Boil Release, which is like a multiplier, so it's like not normal Naruto. Kaguya just manhandles Sasuke Susanoo like nothing.
Yeah, correct.
Probably stronger than base Naruto's 6 paths.
Yeah.
Because he needed Kurama mode to fight that. And then Kakashi has, like, god Kamui that just ignore it, like her durability and power just doesn't even matter anyway, like because Kakashi just ignores it.
Yeah, he just like
and then-
negs her durability.
And then Sakura like punches her in the back of the head when she has no chakra left because she just used the TSO. She was huffing and puffing already earlier from her battle with Naruto and Sasuke, and then she just used all her chakra, and then Sakura comes out of nowhere and just punches her in the head. Which, by the way, she just should have used Shinra Tensei right there or something.
Yeah, I've said this many times.
Right.
Why didn't she use Shinra Tensei?
She has like every ability to Shinobi, known to the Shinobi world, right? Something like that.
Something, but it's
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like she could do it, anything, right?
Her powers
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do it.
Agreed.
Nagato
like
can
an
do it.
ultra
Why
Renegon,
can't
so-
she?
Agreed.
Right,
Agreed.
Exactly. Her son can use it, like,
Yeah.
she just has a Renegon ability. She has like an amped Renegon. So, there's no inconsistency with Kaguya's power. Like the only time she ever struggles is with versus them with like amps. So what I was gonna say with skill is like, the first thing you got to get out of the way is, does Kaguya just BFR Madara? Does she just remove him from the battlefield with one teleport? That's
Yeah, because like,
Oh,
how's
God.
he gonna get back?
Right.
And it's like, maybe you could argue, oh, he has like the third eye, but the problem then becomes, okay, if Kaguya starts teleporting Madara around, Madara is going to run out of chakra first. Like, even if you just say Madara,
Yeah, I think it's safe to say.
he's not really out brawling Kaguya's muscles. All right, like it's not happening. Kaguya was getting tired from a few jumps, and she was considered unimaginable compared to Madara in terms of raw chakra.
I give Madara like 2, dude, at max, and then he's like done.
So it's like, even if you just do like old school swag Madara love session, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's not, it just still doesn't really mean anything. So, I mean, other than that, what other abilities do you think
Well,
Madara
the
would use?
only way we can even continue this discussion is if we talk under the premise that Kaguya won't just like get rid of Madara by teleporting him into volcano
Like, she doesn't have my controller up her butt or something. you
Yeah,
know,
like
this shit.
she's trying to get Madara's chakra back like she did with Naruto and Sasuke.
Correct.
So she wants to actually fight him herself. In that case, then again, you have to rely on Madara being so much more skilled than Kaguya that he's able to make up for like the difference in strength. And Kaguya is kind of dumb.
I agree
as
with
we
that.
just
She most
said,
definitely
she
is.
should have used Shinra Tensei, and she definitely should be able to, and didn't. And like Madara's, like really smart, and he makes all these like cool decisions or whatever, and he's like a genius who like developed all his own jutsu, and like so he has this like huge arsenal. He knows how to use it well. He didn't have to try very hard against the allied shinobi forces, like even all at the same time. Clearly a very skilled guy.
Right.
The thing is, it's hard to say how much of that was Madara being skilled and how much of that was him being obscenely overpowered compared to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
let's
I
say
see the
you
point he's
take,
trying to
like,
make.
Madara and put him down to like Tendo's power level, right? And then you put like Kaguya in like EMS Madara's body, right? Like just because Madara is smarter, like he's not gonna win that fight. Like he's so
Look,
horribly outmatched.
This is all I'm saying.
Right.
Equal stats, Hiruzen probably would bot Madara. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like he probably would
well,
annihilate
same with
Madara.
like Shikamaru.
Right.
Tachi,
Shikamaru, Tachi, Minato.
all really good strategists.
The geniuses.
Like Tobirama, probably even Tobirama.
And
Maybe, yeah.
Another thing too is like versus Kaguya, you had Sasuke, who Madara was just jerking off for being so insane at deduction. Like he was really impressed by Sasuke, right? Sasuke is considered a very intelligent type of fighter in terms of Naruto.
Correct.
Like, he was outsmarting Datara. Everyone considered
He
him
made
really smart.
Datara
Like,
look like an idiot, bro.
yeah, and who was like Anoki's like prodigy child,
Right.
that he loved or
Well,
whatever.
Datara figured out how to turn clay into bombs. Like, he's obviously not stupid.
Yeah,
He, like,
yeah.
trained his eye to be immune to genjutsu or whatever. Like, all this
Yeah.
stuff we never hear about anybody else doing, right?
Exactly.
And Sasuke just comes out here and just runs mental circles around the guy. And, even with the help of Naruto, steroid hacks Kakashi. Like,
Alright, I'm pausing it. We're about halfway through the video. I want to give my 2 cents here up to this point. Now, here's the thing with Madara, okay? We can all agree he's weaker than Kaguya. I mean, it's explicitly stated by the people fighting that fought both Madara and Kaguya. So you can't say, oh, it's not true. It would be very, very, very unlikely for it not to be true. Very, very unlikely. The two guys that fought both head to head, hands on, said Kaguya was vastly superior to Madara as far as the amount of chakra and amount of power that she possesses. Now, the only thing that I'm on the fence about, and it still doesn't change the conclusion at the end, Kaguya is more powerful, is Madara with three-eye Madara. We didn't get to see much of that because obviously he was betrayed by Zetsu pretty quickly, and we didn't get to see a showcase of what he's capable of. So we didn't get to see that, unfortunately, not very much. It was a very small template to go based off of. So we can't really say what he's capable of with three eyes. We can say what he's capable of with one eye, two eye, but the third eye, we don't really get to see much of that because he gets betrayed by Zetsu pretty quickly, at least to my understanding. So he's obviously more intelligent than Kaguya, vastly more intelligent. She's pretty primitive as far as her intellectual capability, right? She gets fucking finessed by the sexy jutsu. Like, that's a very, very primitive thing, and the fact that she fell for it was very surprising to me, but she did, and they gave Naruto, Sasuke, and their team an advantage against her. Madara obviously would not use that, and I completely agree with Seth and Swag's conclusion when it comes to that. He's vastly outmatched as far as power, and I doubt he has the ability to Kamui because I felt like he would have used it. Well, he didn't have the third eye long enough, but yeah, I doubt he has the ability to even go through it to teleport the way Kaguya can. It's possible. I can't say it's impossible, but I doubt it. And here's the thing: Kaguya is basically ground zero of chakra. If I'm not mistaken, she brought chakra to the world, instilled it into the world, and she should have every ability known to the Shinobi verse, known to man, right? Within the Naruto verse. So it's definitely clear that she's kind of primitive as far as her intellectual ability. She didn't use her abilities to the fullest of extent, because if she had, let's be honest, Naruto and Sasuke would have lost. They would have lost. She would have Shinra Tensei'd them, and her Shinra Tensei would have been, who knows, maybe something just a biblical proportion, something that Naruto Pain wasn't even capable of in his heyday. Who knows what Kaguya could have done. It's unquantifiable, unimaginable, the things that she's probably capable of if she had a fucking brain on her. If she had like Minato's intelligence or something like that, she's invincible. At least compared to all these people. So as far as this, the only thing that I'm on the fence about is the gap between Madara and Kaguya. It's still vast to me, but I don't know if it's as vast as Seth and Swag are implying. Because in my opinion, we just don't see a lot of three-eyed Madara. Now, would it change the conclusion in the end? I think it's too vast for him to close that gap, even if he is vastly more intelligent and strategic than Kaguya. But let's continue. That's where I'm at right now.
The most crazy hacks power-up I've ever seen, and I guess Sakura and Obito for a little bit. Sasuke isn't able to use his superior intellect and skill to beat Kaguya by himself.
Right. And Kakashi, another thing people don't realize is Kakashi has an insane brain himself. He's
correct.
Stated to be smarter than Shikamaru. On
right. Naruto said it himself.
Don't say he is smarter or something. You still say
he's relative.
If Shikamaru could come up with it, I'm still a really strong intellect. I probably could come up with something similar or something like that.
Right.
He's implying that, and that was earlier. Kakashi gets smarter throughout the series.
Correct.
And then Sakura herself. Sakura, her main thing is her deduction ability. It's not really emphasized too much, but that's
her thing, right?
Big quirk, she can see
right.
Sasori's poisons and stuff
Near
like that.
Near the end of the series, it's not as obvious, but when they're first introduced, the whole gimmick is that Naruto is just dumb, but Sasuke is battle smart and Sakura is book smart. Naruto
correct.
doesn't have either of these things.
Yeah, and Kakashi was kind of looking at Sakura's advice on how Tobi's abilities worked. Sakura came to the deduction of Obito's not actually there or something, or he's teleporting, and before Kakashi did. So you have all of these geniuses.
Yeah, Sakura is no slouch as far as intellectual ability. Correct.
smart in his own weird, quirky way that like catches people off guard, like even like Sasuke sometimes, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, like the Valley of the End fight has a lot of examples of this.
Yeah.
The first one, I mean, he outsmarted Pain, who is like
Yep.
way stronger than him, and like
Correct.
took multiple paths with like really cool strategies and whatever. You know, like Naruto's not stupid. So you have
Definitely
these
not.
4 people who you could easily make a case for being just as skilled as Madara. I mean, like Naruto like figured out how to like flying Raijin teleport everybody out of the barrier before Obito could blow him up, before even Minato or Tobirama thought of it.
Right.
Plus, Obito was also there, and Obito is like this Palpatine, like master Sith Lord in the background for most of the series. And
Correct.
he's clearly a genius, like, and Obito was also kind of seeing through Madara's BS even when he was growing up. He's like, I've never trusted you. I knew what you were trying to do to me all the time. I knew you had that thing in my heart. He's like, he saw through Madara's a lot, and he
to an
knew how
extent.
to manipulate him as well. Like when he came back as an Edo, he's like, no, you're gonna listen to what I do, Madara. Like you're under my control. Like,
Right.
Obito wasn't no slouch when it came to
No,
IQ. Like,
Obito actually literally won the mind game. He became the Jubi Jinchuriki before Madara.
Yeah.
which is
Correct, he
exactly
did.
what
He did.
Yeah.
he outsmarted Madara a little bit, and then it was like, is Madara's IQ really greater than all of these guys together? Like,
I mean, not to say that
Probably
he's like
not.
stupid.
Yeah, probably not, probably not.
He's
Yeah.
probably like relative to them.
Yeah.
But like
To the
not,
upper
like,
tier intellects,
he's not
I agree.
making them look like fools, right?
exactly.
And so like if all of them working together with all their power and all their like combined tactical ability and their combined strength, like I just don't see how like Madara would be able to solo it if all of Team
By himself, right?
Team
Yeah.
7 couldn't.
Now, I'm not gonna sleep on Madara. Like, let me bring up some stuff some Madara has done too. Like, he outsmarted all 5 Kage at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
he's able to like create these clones or whatever that they didn't see through. He's like a genius when it comes to like his deductions with other people using their abilities.
Right.
too.
But to be
Maybe,
fair,
like,
he was way stronger than all of them combined,
maybe
right?
he would
But still,
use a
what he
weird,
says
like,
still
cloning tactic
stands.
to trick Kaguya and like try to rip her soul out or something. Like, I don't know if the soul rip you can only do it versus people that are weaker than you, because
Yeah, that's the
it's
thing.
it's
I don't know
implied
if
you
I
could have a
talked
tug
to you
of
about
war.
this or if I just thought about it unrelated, but like
Right.
the only people we see it done to are like Shizune and like KCM Naruto versus Nagato, who's
But
all
he couldn't do it right away.
Yeah, he was. It was a tug of war. It was a tug of war for sure. Nagato versus
was
Naruto
clearly
versus
losing that
Nagato.
fight like really bad. And maybe I don't want to get into that because you could maybe
I think
say
he
it
was, I
'cause
think he was
Naruto
weaker
fatigued.
anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's because Naruto was fatigued, whatever. But Naruto was clearly at the disadvantage there.
I agree.
Nagato
He was on the
like,
losing
you don't
side
ever
for sure.
see, and Obito mentions doing it to Yamato, who like Obito eclipses like many times over. But then like when
Right.
he's fighting, Kakashi, Guy, Naruto, and B, he doesn't try it on any of them. So,
Correct.
It is really weird, and I feel like the Soul Tear is just like a freebie that people give Rinnegan users a lot of the time that maybe they don't deserve. Because, like, why wouldn't Sasuke have done it versus Naruto,
Right.
He was pretty good with his Rinnegan powers. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and the thing about souls in Naruto is like chakra inherently has your soul in it anyway. Like, you're kind of using like spiritual energy. Like,
Right.
for instance, like Minato's body, when he got damaged, his soul got damaged. When he turned into a spirit after the Edo Tensei was released, his arms were still gone, right? Because the chakra was disappeared. Dawn can use like ghosts and stuff. Like, spirits tend to be linked to chakra, and it's even like in the name, like it's like physical and spiritual energy,
Right.
together, or mental energies too. So it's like, and we already saw Naruto tug of warring it, and it, if this is the case, like they have like spirit resistance, it would explain like why Obito wasn't just like, come here, Nine Tails, like bah, and just rip it out of his body. Like, it's because Naruto was stronger than him.
All right, here's my take on that, on the soul ripping. I think the degree of difficulty of the soul ripping is indicative of the power of the person you're trying to take the soul of. So Nagato obviously just straight up rip KCM Naruto's soul out because KCM Naruto is powerful. In my opinion, I think it's dependent on mental toughness and physical toughness. So I think the stronger the character, the more difficult. But when it comes to Obito with the Rinnegan, I think you also have to take into account the reason he didn't do that because he was on his toes the whole time. He's getting blitzed, getting attacked all over by Guy, Kakashi, Naruto. So you got to keep that in mind as well. But they do make a point that why didn't he do that, right? I think he didn't want to try it. But there is another, I don't know if I want to say another reason would be because he's not very used to the Renegade abilities. That could be another possibility. Also, maybe that just didn't come to his mind. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, but to me, the most realistic is one, they're powerful. Someone like Kakashi, he highly respects. Someone like Naruto, KCM2, and Guy, he respects all those guys. He didn't want to try it on them and get in a vulnerable position to lose that battle. So that's where I'm at on that. But yeah, I think soul ripping, it's easier on weaker people. But that's why Shizune, it happened to Shizune. It happened to a bunch of weak people. That's my opinion.
Him, right? So he can't do that. Like, he can't just, and it would make him vulnerable or something as well. Like, so obviously, versus Kaguya, who also has a Renegade who might be able to rip out Madara's soul. Not only would it be a really sketchy maneuver that might not work, but Kaguya might just turn around and take his soul out. So
oh god,
it's not a plausible theory.
The
Agreed.
final nail in the coffin that we haven't mentioned yet is Zetsu knows everything about Madara, and he's right there.
Right, that is
True.
correct.
So even if you give Madara
Forgot
the
about
benefit
Zetsu.
of the doubt in skill and strategy, Zetsu will just tell her everything to do. Like, he wasn't
And by
that
the way,
familiar with Naruto and Sasuke,
Yeah.
but Zetsu was literally right there next to Madara the entire
Correct.
And if y'all want to talk about big brain, Zetsu's got the biggest brain, like in the whole.
He knows everything. He knows all of Shinobi
He
history.
pretty much wrote all of Naruto.
Right.
He
Right.
wrote all of Naruto
Exactly.
just to bring Kaguya back. Like,
Yep.
he like by default has the biggest brain. Like, it's just not a debate, and he knows all of Madara's weaknesses, and is
Definitely.
honestly, in my opinion, that's all I personally would think would have to be said. But if you have any closing thoughts,
No, we've been talking about this for quite a while. Next time, really good, really great matchup. Could Kaguya beat the whole Akatsuki? Really not
Could
sure. It's
I don't
gonna be a
know.
super close
Kakazu's multi-continental.
All right, that's the end of the episode. That was funny, but that was a great video by Swagkage. I don't know why I said episode. Video by Swagkage. Yeah, the conclusion is pretty clear. It's not absolute, but it's damn near absolute in my opinion. I think Kaguya wins out of 1,000,000 times. He wins, 999,999,999 times. Like, she wins basically every single damn time. It'd be nearly impossible. You have a better chance of winning the lottery, in my opinion. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning, in my opinion. And we have a better chance of, the world ending by a meteor, in my opinion. So all in all, it's vastly, vastly unlikely that Madara would defeat Kaguya. Kaguya is too vastly powerful. Plus, I didn't take into account Zetsu is literally, on her or in her sleeve or whatever. He's gonna tell her everything. She's probably not gonna fall for almost anything. Zetsu's gonna be watching. He basically was stuck to Madara for who knows how long, and knows everything about the man, all his secrets, all his deepest, darkest strategies. Who knows what this guy knows, what Zetsu knows. All in all, also, Kaguya is just vastly superior to Madara as far as physical capability. It's a vast superiority. It's not close. It's vast. Once again, the gap between Naruto and Madara is minuscule compared to the gap between Kaguya and Madara. And you saw what Kaguya did to Naruto, right? She slapped away thousands of clones. Madara's limbos would probably be no challenge to Kaguya. Who knows what? She'd probably end it pretty quickly, honestly, if Zetsu gave her the right strategy. But yeah, guys, I don't really have much else to say. It's quite concrete what would take place. In an infinite domain of endless possibilities, it's quite concrete who would come out on top and who would come out on top more often, vastly more often. So this was a great video. I know you guys requested it, so I had to bring it to y'all. If you guys ask, y'all shall receive. So as always, if you guys have any recommendations, let me know in the comments. I want to thank you all for the support. I love you all. I rock with y'all, and this is the reason why I keep making videos. But I'll catch you in the next one. It's Jither signing out. Peace.